Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So what's on tap for today? Well, we've got another great reaction video to our lovable lunatic loons, the Cackling Hens of The View, which I affectionately call the Rear View. So we're going to get to that video in just the next few seconds, but if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. Like, share, and follow us. Let us know in your comments as you've done below. What do you think of our lovely lunatic loon ladies of The View, the Rear View? Let's get to that video right now.
Yesterday's House Judiciary Committee meeting, Congressman Matt Gaetz made a proposal that didn't go all that well with Democrat David Cicilline. Take a look.
My amendment gives the committee the opportunity to begin each of its meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd like to offer an amendment to the amendment. The pledge shall not be led by an individual who supported an insurrection against the government of the United States in any way. Do you now accept the amendment?
Well, I'm concerned that you may be disqualifying too many of your own members, Mr. Cicilline.
I'm not concerned about that at all. Then agree to the amendment. Let's make this real. If you want to give someone the right to stand before the House Judiciary Committee and lead the Pledge of Allegiance, at a bare minimum, let's guarantee that that person has not participated or supported or in any way helped an overthrow of the government of the United States.
Would the gentleman
yield?
yield?
It's like a simple proposition.
I also want...
So before we go any further, this is the new word that the Democrats, the leftists, progressives, academia, the hypocrites in Hollywood, right? The lamestream media, it used to be, they used to throw out the word racist, the big R, you're a bigot, the big B. And those used to scare people because as soon as you were labeled with that, you were fighting all day. Well, those don't have any effect anymore. Now the new word is insurrectionist, the big I. That's right. You were an insurrectionist. You were going against the United States of America. You're a January 6ther. That's the new one that they're talking about, okay? So Sislak tried to hit back with Matt Gaetz. Matt wasn't having any part of it. Let's continue.
I want to point out that Congress has already been saying the Pledge of Allegiance at work every day since 1988.
As they should.
Cicilline's amendment was shot down because they didn't want to hear that, but Gaetz ended up passing his pass without opposition. Again, it was something that already happens every day when folks walk in and they start their day. That's what they do.
Does it still count as a win if you just vote on something that's already
I don't know. You know, and this is the Judiciary Committee, right? So wouldn't it be better show of patriotism to be working on issues like police violence, mass shootings, prison reforms?
They are working on that, Whoopi, okay? Don't be so dramatic. Unbelievable. The verbal diarrhea that emanates from these cackling hens is absolutely unbelievable. Of course they're working on that. Matt Gaetz's amendment took what, 30 seconds, a minute? That was basically it.
People, I don't know what it's going to take for them to recognize that people don't, we're not fooling around. The people in the United States are not fooling around. You wasted everybody's time suggesting your people do what they already do.
And nobody was wasting time with Russia, Ukraine Gate, none of those things. They weren't wasting any time or money in terms of those, Whoopi. Come on, honey.
What is this waste of time?
Well, you know, Samuel
You
Johnson.
look amazing. That blue is fabulous on you, by the way.
As long as the hair looks good. So Samuel Johnson, who was a famed literary figure, said in 1175, patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel. So the question is, what exactly is Gaetz seeking refuge from? So he presents...
How much time do you have?
Yeah. Well, so in other words, we have to do the Pledge of Allegiance because he's hiding all of his sins. You know, and we know what they are. One of them is that he was for the insurrection. I mean, he's been accused of sexual trafficking, which he has now denied. I'll say that. He is an election denier. And these are the reasons that they always say, oh, let's wave the flag, rally around the flag when there's something to hide. And that's what he's doing.
And just so we're...
So should I say they're joyless Behar? that the next time you decide to use a patriotic term, you decide to use a flag, you decide to use some type of a statement that feels that you're wrapping America around yourself, then we're going to say the same thing, that you've got something to hide? Just saying, honey, just saying.
So everybody is clear, because Fox loves to come after us every day.
Yeah.
They don't do their work. They come.
Well, they have to correct stupidity and idiocy and lunacy and moronicity. That's what they have to do, all right? Just letting you know there, honey.
At us for doing what we're supposed to do, which was give you our opinion. That's the beautiful thing about America. In America, we can still each give our opinion.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like it. It's just somebody's opinion. But I find that the people who are always saying, well, they are we're not anti-America. The beauty of America is you can say, hey, this is what's wrong with America, and we can fix it. That's what they're supposed to be doing, instead of asking people to do what they already do every day, which is say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can I correct something? I have to make it quick. So I just want to correct that Samuel Johnson, not 1175,
Right.
1775. I knew it had to be later because I dated the guy. I mean, come on.
Well, I was going to say, adding to what you were saying about where you could be channeling these efforts, what they're wanting in some ways is blind allegiance. So don't look at it. Don't open your eyes. Just say you're here for it. So
Oh, Sarah. Blind allegiance? Oh, you mean Democrats. Oh, you mean leftists. You mean the hypocrites in Hollywood. You mean the mainstream media that want blind allegiance to, right? That's who you're talking about. Just wanted to make sure.
do find it interesting that Matt Gaetz would talk about that, because if he remembers doing the pledge, one nation under God, indivisible, well, we were a little divisible, and he was part of that divisible. Yes.
Oh, he was part of the divisible. It wasn't Hillary Clinton with their deplorables, Mark. It wasn't the Democrats going after President Trump every single day during his administration with the Ukraine collusion, with the dossier, right? With the Russia. That had nothing to do in terms of dividing this country. Oh, no, nothing, Sarah. Do we need to mansplain to you, honey, every single time that you're wrong?
But I think I don't think that when your actions speak louder than your words, don't interrupt. And he's shown us who he is. So no number of repeated pledges of allegiance will tell me that he has any sense of what it means to really truly believe in a country.
By the way, that under God thing, bring it up in a minute. I want to talk about that too.
Well, I was going to just say, I mean, we know he's a hypocrite,
and a lot
of those folks.
Oh, Sonny, let me mansplain something to you, Sonny. Honey, you talk about a hypocrite? Why don't you talk about yourself, look in a mirror, and ask yourself why you culturally appropriate everything. You appropriate culture, ethnicity. You're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a race baiter, you're a race traitor, you're all of those things, right? Your real name is even Assumption Cummings, but you call yourself Sonny Austin. You're half Puerto Rican, half black, but you've never basically, until recently, said anything about your Latina heritage. You continue to think everybody, I'm going to be 100% black. The hypocrite label is stuck around your neck. You need to take a look in the mirror.
That have been newly appointed to that committee are hypocrites. The problem that I have is with this narrative of American exceptionalism that we've been taught since we were kids. I mean, I said the Pledge of Allegiance, all through my life in school. And then when I got into college, I took an African American history course, and I started realizing.
Whoop-de-freaking-do. You took an African-American history course in college, and then you decided and discovered that America is not so exceptional, that other countries are better, that, we shouldn't be touting American exceptionality, and yet you claim that you love this country.
Realizing that the actual Pledge of Allegiance doesn't apply to a lot of our citizens.
Well, they weren't including us.
It hasn't met the dream of being exceptional. It hasn't met this country, hasn't met this dream of being this beacon on a hill. And so I think the Supreme Court has already ruled you can't force anyone to take the pledge, but I think until we really meet the promise of what this country could truly be, then we shouldn't be touting us out as exceptionalists.
The one thing I would say.
So there you have it, folks. Right there in a nutshell, encapsulated by this cackling hen who doesn't use her real name, who calls out everybody else for cultural appropriation, name appropriation, ethnicity appropriation, clothing appropriation, everything else. This fake, this fraud, all right, who names herself Sunny Hostin, she basically has said right there, why do we talk about American exceptionalism? We shouldn't. We have flaws. We have all these things going on. We're not that shining beacon hill city on a hill. Really? We had the first black president who was 50% black, 50% white, who hid his whiteness because of black supremacy. We have gotten rid of slavery, but yet these guys continue to talk about the flaws, the sins of this country that happened long ago. I'm not saying, look, as we said, everybody, every person, every entity, every country, they have their good and their bad. But the United States of America, our good outweighs our bad by such an unbelievable amount that the bad is insignificant because we've worked on those things and we're going to continue to work on ourselves. We're going to continue to work on our country. But why is it that 99% of the world wants to come to the United States of America? They're going to come over land. Oh, they're going to walk. They're going to over thousands of miles. They're going to endure rape, endure, in some cases, families, children, people getting murdered, being exploited for sex, being exploited in drug trafficking, being exploited as minors. Yet they continue, parents sending their children with other people, okay, to get to the United States somehow. Who does that? Over land, people from Cuba crossing over the oceans, the seas, okay, dying in the process, many of them, so they can get to Florida in the United States of America. Why are they doing that? Because they want what everybody else has here. They want the pursuit of happiness. They want liberty. They want freedom. But yet you, Assumption Cummings, also known as the fake Sunny Hostin, and the rest of the Cackling Hens, you guys can you say, you know what, we don't hate America. Yes, you do. You do hate America. You continue to bring up the sins, as I talked about, the things of the past. That, you know, to hold us, people, you out in the audience, your children, us, for the sins of what happened in slavery, when none of us held any slaves, none of us, is the same thing as basically saying to a Japanese person, hey, you know what? You're responsible for Pearl Harbor. I mean, come on, folks. The sins of the father do not go to the sins of the children. We work on our flaws here. We move past them. We try to do better than what was done in the past, and we have done that. Ask anybody out there. Ask any black person. Is this the best country still to be in the entire world? If you're black, if you're an immigrant, if you're from any culture, any religion, any race, any ethnicity, of course it is. This is the best country in the history of the world that God created. It will always remain the best country in the history of the world that God has ever created. End of story, period. And if somebody wants to say the Pledge of Allegiance and make sure that it's as a part of it and just continue to say it each and every single day, it's because there are people like yourselves, leftists, lunatics, liberals, that would basically say, hey, guess what? If there's a way that we can avoid doing the pledge, they would try to do that. That's what Democrats do. Period. End of story. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Put your comments down below. I've been your guest host today. My name is Dr. Nasir, and I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.